Welcome back to NFL Nexus. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and look at exactly how the Indianapolis Colts are approaching what is, quite frankly, a massive franchise-altering offseason. We're going to be weighing high upside rookies against proven veteran free agents, and it is a fascinating balancing act. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here as we break down every single angle of the Colts' 2026 roster building strategy. But hey, real quick, before we get deep into the weeds of depth charts and these intense positional battles, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button on this explainer, and comment below on what you thought of today's analysis. We love hearing from you guys. Also, you can help support the channel by purchasing our fantastic coloring books. They are honestly perfect for children, grandchildren, and adults as well. You can access them right now through the link in the description, or just scan that QR code you'll see popping up right there on the screen. All right, with the housekeeping out of the way, let's talk Indianapolis Colts football. This team is at a really fascinating crossroads right now, caught right in the middle between developing the raw young talent they just drafted and signing those established, grizzled veterans who can contribute to winning football immediately. So the Colts had 8 new draft picks this year, but crucially, they lacked a first-rounder. And that begs a huge question. Is getting younger and faster going to be enough for a must-win 2026 season? Now, let's be real here. When a front office internally or externally declares a season a must-win, the pressure dials up exponentially on literally every single roster spot. We're talking from the top of the depth chart all the way down to the last guy on the practice squad. You simply do not have the luxury of waiting 3 entire seasons for a developmental project player to learn the complex nuances of the professional game. The competitive window is open right now. Yet the harsh reality of not having a premium day 1 draft pick means Indianapolis is forced to unearth hidden gems. They brought in 8 fresh faces, all looking to make an impact. But relying on guys drafted in the middle to late rounds to just come in and save a pivotal season, that is an incredible tightrope walk. Today, we are going to look at the absolute smallest details of these positional battles to see if these rookies really have what it takes to step up when the lights are brightest, or if tapping into that veteran free agent market is the only truly safe bet to keep championship hopes alive. Here's our agenda for today's explainer. First, the 2026 setup. Second, fixing the edge rush. Third, fortifying wide receivers. Fourth, leveling up the linebackers. And finally, number 5, the final roster verdict. Let's get to it. Section 1. The 2026 SAP. General Manager Chris Ballard prioritized speed and youth late in the draft, but the immense pressure of a must-win year means every positional battle is absolutely critical. Now, when we talk about day 3 selections, for those who might not obsess over the draft, we are talking about rounds 4 through 7 of the NFL draft. Historically, across the entire league, these are the rounds where teams look for developmental backups, core special teams contributors, or maybe a practice squad stash. But Chris Ballard came into this specific draft with a very clear, undeniable mandate: inject absolute speed and youth into a defensive unit that desperately needed a spark. However, because they are missing that blue-chip, undeniable first-round talent at the very top of the board, the margin for error evaluating these late-round guys is basically non-existent. It's razor-thin. They need at least a couple of these day 3 draft picks to not just make the 53-man roster out of training camp, but to actually strap on their helmets and play meaningful, high-leverage snaps on Sundays when the season is quite literally on the line. Section 2. Fixing the edge rush. Right now, if you look at the roster, they are relying on rotational players like Arden Key or the relatively inexperienced Jalen Tuimoloau, which blows the door wide open for a day 3 rookie like Caden Curry to make the cut. Getting to the quarterback is the premium currency in today's NFL, right? It's the whole ballgame. And you simply cannot have a one-dimensional pass rush opposite your main starter, Laiatu Latu. Latu is an absolute force of nature. But think about it. If the opposing offensive line realizes he's the only threat, they can just slide their protection his way on every single passing down. They'll double-team him, and his overall impact gets completely neutralized. The guys opposite him right now leave a lot of question marks. Arden Key is a solid player, absolutely, but throughout his career, he has proven to be best utilized as a rotational piece, a guy who comes in fresh specifically on third downs to pin his ears back, rather than an every-down anchor who can withstand the brutal physical pounding of early rundowns. Then you have Jalen Tuimoloau. He is only entering year 2. His on-field NFL experience is extremely limited, and honestly, relying on a second-year player with minimal high-leverage reps in a must-win season is a massive vulnerability. This lack of proven depth sets the stage perfectly for our day 3 pick, Caden Curry. Let's really dig deep into these numbers and the physical traits for Caden Curry, because this is where the scouting evaluation gets genuinely fascinating. In his senior year of college, Curry racked up 66 total tackles, an impressive 16.5 tackles for loss, and 11 sacks.
That is elite, undeniable production against top-tier collegiate offensive lines. You can't fake those numbers. But here's the major catch, and it's a big one. He has 30-inch arms. Now, you might be wondering, why does that matter? Well, in the NFL scouting world, and especially within Chris Ballard's front office, the gold standard physical threshold for edge rushers is 33 inches. Arm length is incredibly crucial in the trenches because it strictly dictates leverage. It's simple physics. If your arms are longer, you can initiate contact first and keep a massive 300-pound offensive tackle off your chest pad. If an offensive lineman gets their hands inside on your chest first, the rep is essentially over for a pass rusher. You're blocked. Curry falls significantly short of that 33-inch physical benchmark, meaning he will have to rely purely on his burst, his motor, and his technique to disengage from blocks. His selection represents a pure commitment to getting faster and younger, banking on the hope that his incredible collegiate production will translate despite those physical limitations.
But what if the Colts look at that and say, we need immediate help instead of a developing rookie? Well, that brings us to the age of free agent Cameron Jordan, 37 years old. In the National Football League, particularly for a defensive lineman playing in the absolutely grueling trenches, 37 is usually considered ancient. Let's be honest, most guys have hung up their cleats long before this point because the physical toll is just too immense on the body. But the context here is absolutely everything. The Colts do not need a player to sign a massive 4-year franchise-altering contract right now. They aren't looking for a cornerstone for the next decade. They are staring down the barrel of a must-win 2026 season. They need a mercenary. They need someone who can step into the building on day one, command respect, and flawlessly execute the defensive scheme without a learning curve. Despite his age, this 8-time Pro Bowler just had a resurgent year and could perfectly supply a cheap 1-year boost to the edge rush. Let's look really closely at these numbers from last season because they are staggering for a guy his age. Cameron Jordan didn't just play, he produced at an incredibly high level. He registered 10.5 sacks and 15 tackles for loss. And perhaps most importantly for a team needing absolute stability on early downs, he posted a Pro Football Focus run defense grade of 82.1. For those of you who dive into the analytics and track PFF metrics, you know that a grade over 80 in run defense is phenomenal. It means he isn't just pinning his ears back and recklessly hunting the quarterback on every single down, leaving his gap wide open. No, he is diagnosing the play, setting a hard physical edge, and blowing up run assignments before they can ever develop. Bringing in an 8-time Pro Bowler with this kind of pedigree, even at 37 years old, provides an instant locker room presence and guaranteed production without breaking the salary cap. So the crucial point we are looking at is this juxtaposition. Do you commit to Curry's youthful speed and long-term defensive evolution, or do you open the checkbook and pay for Jordan's guaranteed, immediate, 1-year impact for a must-win season? This right here is the classic NFL roster-building dilemma. If you go with Curry, you're investing in the future of your defense. You are giving a young, hungry player the live-fire reps he needs to eventually become a cornerstone, though you absolutely risk suffering through rookie growing pains, jumped off sides, and missed assignments when every single win counts in December. On the flip side, Cameron Jordan represents the ultimate win-now patch. He knows every single trick in the book, he commands immediate respect from opposing offensive lines, and he takes that immense pressure off Tutu right from the opening kickoff. Section 3, Fortifying Wide Receivers. Shifting gears to the offensive side of the ball, after trading away Michael Pittman Jr. last month, the Colts are desperately looking for explosiveness. And rookie Deion Burks brings exactly that with his blistering 4.3 speed. The departure of Pittman simply cannot be overstated, guys. When a front office trades away a big-bodied, highly reliable target like Pittman, you suddenly have a massive, gaping hole in the target share for this offense. We're talking about dozens and dozens of vacated targets that need to be redistributed. The remaining receiver room, while talented, lacks the raw game-breaking explosiveness that Shane Steichen's offensive system requires to truly stretch the field vertically. They desperately needed someone who can literally take the top off a defense and force the opposing safeties to play deep, respecting the deep ball. And they found exactly that in the draft with the 254th overall pick. Deion Burks fell right into their laps at the very tail end of the draft, bringing true verified 4.3-second 40-yard dash speed to Indianapolis. Now, though his stats don't leap off the page and scream superstar, his acceleration makes up for his size, giving him a real shot to win a position battle against Anthony Gould. Let's focus on the granular details of Burks' profile here. He is listed at just 5'9". Usually in the NFL, a receiver of that physical stature is immediately relegated to the inside slot position, right? They operate purely over the middle of the field, matched up against linebackers and nickel corners. But Burks' acceleration is so elite that he actually lines up on the outside against primary perimeter cornerbacks. He can just blow past them. During his final collegiate season, he was a steady presence, logging 57 receptions for 620 yards and 4 touchdowns.
He wasn't the focal point of the offense, but he delivered when called upon. Now he faces a very steep climb. He is battling Anthony Gould, a player who has, frankly, failed to make a significant impact so far in his career. This training camp battle between Gould and Burks is going to be one of the most highly contested micro-battles on the entire roster, as Burks tries to prove that his collegiate consistency and raw outside speed can successfully translate to Sundays. Conversely, if the Colts want a surefire WR3 to pair with Alec Pierce and Josh Downs, veteran Jauan Jennings provides exactly that kind of undeniable, bankable production. If you want absolute reliability, look no further than Jennings. Let's look at the tape over his last 2 seasons. Jennings stacked up 132 catches, 1,618 receiving yards, and 15 touchdowns. He is the very definition of a chain mover. He is the exact guy a quarterback locks eyes with on a critical 3rd and 7 when the game is entirely on the line. Adding a veteran like Jennings as your WR3 would perfectly complement the skill sets currently sitting on the roster. Think about it. You would have Alec Pierce, who can act as the dedicated deep threat on the outside. You have Josh Downs, who excels as a shifty underneath route runner. And then you add Jennings, who provides that physical contested catch presence over the middle. It is a move that makes almost too much sense to efficiently execute Shane Steichen's game plan. And best of all, Jennings wouldn't require a record-breaking, cap-destroying contract to bring into the building. And this brilliantly illustrates our second battle, the raw, game-breaking speed of Burks against the reliable, starter-caliber consistency of Jennings. It is a fundamental question of offensive philosophy. Do you gamble on the high upside of a late-round rookie who can occasionally catch a simple slant route, make one guy miss, and take it 80 yards to the house? Or do you prioritize a proven commodity who ensures your offense stays on schedule, executes the intricate details of Steichen's playbook flawlessly, and is willing to do the dirty work, like physically blocking in the run game? It is the exact same dynamic we just saw with the edge rushers, just applied to the perimeter pass catchers. Section 4, Leveling Up the Linebackers. With C.J. Allen basically locked in as a starter, rookie Bryce Botcher enters the mix as a fantastic sub-package linebacker who excels in pass coverage. Let's really inspect the smallest details of this current linebacker room. The second level of the defense is the absolute nerve center in Lou Anarumo's system, and getting the personnel right here is critical for communication and execution. We know C.J. Allen is the undisputed starter. He is the anchor in the middle. The Colts are also slated to bring in Akeem Davis-Gaither, so the very top of the depth chart looks solid. But then you have the 4th-round rookie, Bryce Botcher. Botcher is what you call a sub-package linebacker. In the modern, incredibly pass-heavy NFL, you don't always want a thumping 250-pound run stuffer lumbering around the field on 3rd and long, because they become a massive liability against speedy running backs coming out of the backfield and highly athletic tight ends running seam routes. You want a guy who can drop into coverage smoothly, read the quarterback, and flip his hips in space. Botcher was exceptional at this in college, allowing a meager 69.3 passer rating when targeted by opposing quarterbacks. That kind of specialized coverage skill is absolutely invaluable in today's game. As this awesome quote from Colts scout Casilla O'Million highlights, Botcher brings immediate value on special teams while he actively competes for the will linebacker role. Let's unpack what Casilla O'Million is saying here, because it is a complete masterclass in how day 3 draft picks actually make NFL rosters and stick around in the league long term. She praises his instincts, which redeem a lot of his inexperience. But the absolute key word here, the secret sauce, is special teams. If you are a rookie drafted in the 4th round or later, and you are not penciled in as a day 1 starter on offense or defense, your only ticket to the final 53-man roster is being an absolute demon on punt and kickoff coverage. Botcher has completely bought into that role early in his career. His willingness to do the gritty, unglamorous, full-speed collision work on special teams gives him a massive leg up while he tries to challenge for the starting will or weak side linebacker position. But if they want a complete linebacker room right now, bringing back former Colt Bobby Okereke gives them an efficient tackling machine who could instantly start next to Allen. Let's dive into the details of this potential reunion. The Colts originally drafted Bobby Okereke back in 2019 with the 89th overall pick. He knows the building. He has gone on to play highly efficient, incredibly disciplined football throughout his entire career. Look closely at these coverage stats because they are telling. 7 career interceptions and 36 pass breakups. That proves he isn't just an early down run defender, he is a complete 3-down linebacker who operates beautifully in open space and can expertly read the quarterback's eyes to jump routes. While there are always valid questions about how perfectly a returning veteran fits into Lou Anarumo's specific defensive system compared to his previous schemes, Okereke's pure talent and diagnostic abilities are undeniable. If the Colts signed him, there is a very real, tangible likelihood that he completely jumps Davis-Gaither on the depth chart and becomes the immediate plug-and-play starter next to C.J. Allen. Once again, we see the tension perfectly laid out: groom Boucher behind the scenes or bring in Okereke to instantly solidify the middle of the field. It is an incredible balancing act that the front office has to manage. Boucher has the youth, the exceptionally cheap rookie contract that helps your salary cap, and the special teams buy-in that special teams coordinators absolutely drool over. Okereke, on the other hand, brings the veteran savvy, the proven track record of creating massive turnovers with his NFL interceptions, and the immediate peace of mind for a defensive coordinator looking to stop elite passing attacks right out of the gate in Week 1. Section 5, the final roster verdict.
As the Colts build their 2026 roster, I really want to leave you with this final thought. Can a team successfully mix unproven rookie speed with aging veterans to capture a title, or will this dual strategy stretch them entirely too thin? It is the ultimate puzzle for Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen, finding the exact right alchemy of youthful energy from guys like Caden Curry, Deion Burks, and Bryce Botcher, perfectly balanced against the stabilized, calming, been-there-done-that presence of veterans like Cameron Jordan, Joanne Jennings, and Bobby Okereke, is what separates good front offices from true, parade-having Super Bowl champions. We have gone incredibly deep into the granular details of the defensive line, the wide receivers, and the linebackers today, and you better believe we will be watching every single one of these positional battles closely as training camp approaches. Thank you so much for joining me today on NFL Nexus for this deep dive explainer. If you enjoyed the sheer level of detail we brought to the table today, please remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this explainer, and let us know your thoughts down in the comments section. Would you rather start the rookie or sign the veteran? We want to hear your takes. And before you go, please consider supporting our channel by grabbing one of our amazing coloring books, absolutely perfect for children, grandchildren, and adults as well. Just click the link in the description below or scan the QR code right here on your screen. Until next time, keep your eyes on the gridiron.